Here it is. Today is the 27th of October, and we made it. We're here. We are here. Good morning. Hey, Lamisha. Good morning to you, Ron. Good morning to everyone. Again, I'm grateful. I know that there are a lot of people probably still sleeping and sleeping in. It is the top and the last Monday of October 20 of October in the year of our Lord 2025. So I have a lot of things to talk about, and I'm really led to talk about something that's so dear to me, and something that has not so much just talk about, but to unpack, if I may, and give light to recovery. And I believe that this is something that's ongoing in all of our lives. We're recovering from something, and what that looks like, what it means to you, the individual, what it means to your future, what it means to you moving forward, what it means to you um, uh, uh, gravitating and understanding where you are now, and accepting your reality without you feeling defeated. Recovery is a real process, and I believe it's important for us to understand the steps and all that goes into the recovery process, and what that looks like for you. That means you're moving out of the denial state of what has legitimately transpired in your life, what has legitimately transpired in your mind, in your heart. I firmly believe that I am called to help people navigate their heart and mind through any life's crisis. Lifing is something that is major, something that's important to you. Your vitality, your purpose here in the earth is so necessary for you to understand how to navigate the two main important parts and components that you possess, which is your heart and your mind, my heart and my mind. And so it's important for us to understand these step-by-step processes. And I believe that there are strategies at recovering. Some people will deny that they're hurt, or deny that they felt any pain, or I'm okay when you're not. So many times I said that I'm okay. No, it didn't bother me when I wasn't okay, and it really did bother me. All right, so it's important for us to revisit what happened in a sober state of mind, to revisit what happened soberly, and not to the best of your ability, not to just look at yourself as the victim, um, especially if you were in a relationship, be it husband, wife, um, brother to brother, brother to sister, sister to sister, worker, co-worker, those particulars, people that you may know, and people that you hold near and dear to your life, people that you have given yourself to. I want to also add that grief is there. Anytime something did not pan out, or you're not getting or receiving something, you lost something, if I may, or there's a loss of any sort, there is grief. Grief is legitimately present, and so we can grieve while still in it. And this is a real recovery process. And just to acknowledge your pain, just to acknowledge what had happened. And if I may give you a strong suggestion, and and please, to your level best, not to look at yourself as a failure, right? Because it's part of the journey, and many times we can be so hard on ourselves. We can really set us back, and cause us to feel as if we have legitimately failed, and we're failures. And that's what brings a lot of disparity on. That's what brings a lot of self-doubt, self-hate. That's when we turn that anger, or that feeling of resentment to ourselves. And so the key step is one of the first key steps is practicing self-compassion, giving yourself the same thing you gave to that person, that place, or the thing. Giving yourself self-compassion, right? Um, and going back, it really is important to you. It's important to your recovery. Self compassion is so many, it's in so many ways it's so important. And many times we don't realize how exhausting it is, um, with giving and it not being reciprocated back to us, and then we then have to deal with the pieces of brokenness of carrying ourselves, putting ourselves in some type of container, some type of bag, some type of apparatus to recover the best of ourselves that we've given. All right. And so we're going to talk about making small, achievable steps and all those particular things and strategies and moving forward. How do I move forward from a major setback, whether it is financially, whether it is a setback in your relationships, whether it's a setback in your health, whether it's a setback in your work or your business, whether it's a setback in your spiritual community. Um, we want to share that as you come on. I would that you would hit the share button. It would so help somebody acknowledge the fact that these are real moments. These are real proponents. I had preach, really a major message I felt that was really helping yesterday, but many times from the pulpit, we can't legitimately discuss and further break down the essence of what really goes on into the lives of people. And so I want to take that moment and really talk about this because these are some real moments. So number one, the key is in moving forward, and that is so important, right? That word forward, right? How do I move forward after setbacks? How do I get up out of the stupor that I'm in? How do I manage my expectations? How do I manage my this moment? What do I do? How can I begin the recovery process? And number one, the first step that I'm suggesting to you is to acknowledge and to accept. Acknowledging and accepting it is so vitally important because now you are moving into what's called ownership. Recognize the setback without shame is to recognize that you have gone through this, you failed, or you may have not completed it or did not go as planned, but it is without shame. And many times that's the first thing that come to us. That's the first feeling that we feel stupid, we feel ashamed of ourselves, we get mad at ourselves and we begin to implode on ourselves, right? So recognize the setback without shame, understanding it's a common part of recovery, not a sign of failure. It is a common, when you acknowledge and accept it, this is common. This is common. This is why in lifing, I know unlike Hollywood studios, we can retake it if they get a line messed up on the set or in the movie or whatever it is while they're filming the movie, they can go back and retake it. There's some things in our lives that aren't retakeable. We can't go back. I'm sorry, not some. There's so many things in our lives that we can't go back and reset, can't retake. This is why words are important. And out of the abundance of the mouth, the heart speaks. And there are times we are pushed or we choose to give a whole slew of words that was lying dormant, that was in our spirit, in our heart, because we feel either taken advantage of, we feel that we are in a vicious cycle again. But I'm grateful for the grace of God. You are still the recipient of God's grace. I am still the recipient of God's grace, no matter how we look at it, no matter how we slice it, dice it, roll it, or bake it. You are the recipient of God's grace. And what that means, He gives you the opportunity to redo, renew, revisit. Now, in many cases, there's damage that was done because of what we unleashed or how we felt that we had to handle the situation. Damage is real, and words are very, very, very destructive. Words we can't put back. It's identical, if I may metaphorically, trying to put gunpowder back into a bullet that was shot. Can't do it. It's almost it's impossible. You can't put it back. It's already out there, right? So so acknowledging and accepting your part. And sometimes when you and this is also has to be expected too. That I'll never forget that, in my recovery process, Lamisha, Ron, in my recovery process of things, even though I apologized and I was sincerely apologetic and empathic, and I've wanted forgiveness. It did not take away from the damage that I caused. Yes, the person accepted my apology, and then there are times the person did not accept my apology. And so I had to live out and live through the fact that damage that I caused was causing well, I heard that before. You said that before. I've been here before with you. What was going to make this different this time? How is it going to cause this to be different this time? And it's on both ends in many cases, and because you may be talking to a person and apologizing to a person who don't have the capacity or the grace to admit or acknowledge their wrong, their part, or to accept their part. And so, if you are in any situation like that, be it with your brother or your sister or your spouse or a potential spouse or whoever it is, or a coworker, if you're in that situation, that's a real reality that you must accept. And I have to say it that way as firmly as I possibly can, that you must accept that they may never change. They may never acknowledge their part. So, how do you manage you in this? Number one, acknowledge and accept. We're talking about strategies for moving forward after failure, after a mishap, after disappointment. How do I move forward with my mind and my heart, right? Number one, acknowledge and accept that this is a reality. This is your reality right now. This is their reality. This is where it is right now. How do I move forward? Number two, I kind of prematurely dealt with it, but I'm going to go back to it. Number two, the first step is acknowledging and accepting. Number two is practicing self compassion. This is what got me over. This is what continues to keep me. I went through a season where I just did not know how to show love to myself. I went through a season, years of it. Didn't know I was still not loving me. I didn't know how because I was in the vicious cycle of trying to gain love, in the vicious cycle of battling rejection, right? And so I did not know how to give self compassion because I felt the need to be affirmed, to be accepted. I gave more gifts. I gave more time. I gave more money. I gave my good self to persons, places, and things that didn't earn my good self, that did not respect my good self, did not, know how. And, 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 and I got mad, got frustrated over and over and over again. And so I didn't know the power and the value of self compassion. I didn't give myself that. Didn't, wasn't taught to, right? From a clinical perspective, right? Had so many Bible verses to go to, so many scriptures to read, but it wasn't given to me in small dosages. Small dosages. I didn't know, right? So revisit. So practicing self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Activating your brain's caregiving system for balance rather than self-criticism. I had to activate because guess what? I knew how to be empathic. I knew how to be compassionate. I gave it to others, but I didn't know how, Alicia, to give it to myself. And so I had to really, that's something that's learned and intentional and is mindful, right? That's something that's mindful because you may be practicing self compassion. Self compassion to you may be, let me stop the purse. Let me stop giving so much money. Let me stop giving so much time. Now, the recipients are going to switch up on you and make you feel and cause you to feel sometimes that you're being passive aggressive. You're being spiteful, you're being intentional, when the reality is you can explain to them, no, I'm really working on myself. I need to do this for me. I made myself too accessible. It's going to feel like I'm being spiteful. It's going to feel like I'm being intentional. It's going to feel like I'm being petty. It's going to seem that way. But no, I have to, once and for all, practice self-compassion. By activating by being kind to myself. I was kind to you. You know I'm consistent, and you don't have to beat yourself up or prove anything to anybody. But sometimes you're going to have to explain it, right, to the best of your ability where you are in this moment. It doesn't mean that things are going to permanently change, but right now I need to regroup and recover me. I need to activate that caregiving part that I gave to you. I need now to give it to me. I need to balance this. I need to balance this out. That's practicing self-compassion when you can balance things out and while recovering from rejection, while recovering from the need to be affirmed, the need to be applauded, the need to be needed. All right, this is self-compassion is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Oh my gosh. When I learned the power, and I'm going to tell you this, when I realized that the word of God really is so powerful. And you can hear the word, but not really do the word, not really receive the word. You can quote a scripture all day, every day, and it really not resonate with you. One of the greatest game changers rather in my life is when I really realized that God's love is unconditional. When I realized his love is in place to help me recover, his love have components connected to it, such as grace. He gives grace meaning time, that there's nothing that I've done, doing, or will do that will stop him from loving me. Whereas with people, if I've done the same thing or if I violated them, they're gonna stop. Yeah, when you are violating somebody or they're violating you, love stops. We cut the love purse off, the love giving, it stops. We stop it. We will not give access to that. We are not giving no more of that. But his love is different. His love is so intentional, so powerful. And when I realized that, Amisha, it really blessed my life. It really helped me to recover. It helped me to get over and past me, over and past self-shame, self-loathing. It helped me to get past self-degradation. I stopped beating myself up, and I'm like, I have a God in me that loves me for me in any and every condition and is committed to helping me get up and recover. Wow, that's a love that won't fail, that finds me. One lyrical song that we sing from time to time, oh, the overwhelming, never ending, reckless love of God. It chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I didn't earn it, I didn't deserve it. Still, you give your love away. Um, Oh, the overwhelming, never ending, reckless love. His love is reckless. And so I had resonated with those lyrics because that's how his love is. Any condition, no matter where. You don't even have to call 911 because he's already present. I love that. You don't have to call no cavalry. He's not on the way. Hold on, no, you call 911. What's your emergency? Where you at? No, he's already there with you in your misery, in your wrong choices, in your right choices, in your failures, in your devastation. He's there. He's present with you right now, no matter what condition. I love that. You know, it's powerful. So when I grabbed that and embraced that and got that revelation, I started getting over me real quick. Oh, I had moments. I had my moments, but I didn't stay the whole weekend in it. I went from, all right, let me tell you this. All right. I went from a whole week of being mad to narrowing it down to 4 days, to then 3 days, then 2 days, then one day, and to a couple of hours to like a moment now. And that took time. That was the evolution of growing and embracing how real his love is. So if he's not shocked by you or me, if God's not shocked and surprised, neither should you be. You shouldn't be shocked and surprised. It, and please try your level best to let that resonate and sit in you, right? So after and self compassion is ongoing. It's ongoing. It's every day. It's all throughout the day. It's all throughout the week. It's something that you continuously give yourself, right? All right. So number three, in recovering and from moving forward from a failure or a failed situation or a failed moment, is revisit and adjust you. Revisit and adjust what was working for you, because obviously there was some things that was legitimately working, and sometimes what that looks like, we can start giving and opening up too soon because we feel strong, or because the other person is showing signs of improvement, or because the relationship is showing signs of improvement. All of a sudden our guards and we start putting the cart before the horse. All of a sudden we it's just like that prescription that the doctor gives, right? The doctor, he or she may tell you, take this prescription, follow the formula, follow the prescription. The prescription says, I need you to take this twice a day for the next 5 days. Twice a day, one in the morning, one in the evening, with food for the next 5 days. You got that? In many cases, we start feeling better the second day and the third day. In fact, start feeling better, our health comes back, cough's gone, whatever what you were facing, whatever was on you, is now dissipating, and we feel better. We may take it the fourth day, but I promise you, in many cases, so many of us, whether it was 5 days, 7 days, whether it's for the next 8 days, many of us did not fully carry the prescription completely out. If it was for 7 days, we were feeling better by the fourth day, and our guards went down. We didn't take it. I'm gonna save this in case. I feel better now, so I don't need to finish this. And so our guards go down. Is there anybody who can relate to that? Anybody in the room can relate to not fully carrying out the script or the prescription, the instructions on the script, right? And there was a reason why the physician told you to fully carry this out for the next 5 days, 7 days, 8 days, 10 days, because they wanted to make sure it was completely out of your system. And so many times we prematurely let our guards down, prematurely let people, persons, and places back in because we are hopeful, and all of a sudden, the hope and the signs of change is being assessed and it's being brought to us, and we're like, okay, this is what I need to do. And sometimes we really need to, not sometimes, let me take that back. Let me rewind. All the time, we need to give time and space, opportunity to do what it needs to do. Let your yay be yay, your nay be nay, your yes be yes, and your no be no. And I get it because we hope, we we hope really hard. We, many of us, really hope hard, and that's why the grief is so hard, because we love hard. There was a deep love there that caused well, deep love, or is it a deep need for love? There's a difference. Is it really deep love, or is it a deep need for love? Hey, Pastor Joel, blessings to you. I thought about you this morning. Is it a deep love, or is it a deep need for love? So when we talk about moving forward after failure, how to move forward, number one, we acknowledge and accept. Number two, we practice self-compassion. Number three, we revisit and adjust, right? Examine what worked and what didn't work. Then modify your plan, your treatment, your approach while addressing the current need, right? That is so vitally important to recovery, steps to recover. I revisit and adjust. In many cases, if you took a test and you failed in that test, you many times you can look at where you succeeded, what you got right, and then you can focus on what you got not, what you got wrong, while still remembering what you got right, remembering what works. And so that is a vital piece of your recovery. Revisit and adjust, revisiting and adjusting, right? And I love the fact, and I'm speaking it from experience, when I can see when I'm slipping back into a place called blame, I'm self-doubt, or I'm speaking, or I'm slipping back into a place called deflection and reflect and rejection, and I'm running, and I can sense that on me now, right? I can identify it, spot it, track it, unpack it, and then make the necessary adjustments to myself. And that is so vitally important to self compassion. When you can adjust you, this is not about the other person. It's never been about them, but you've made it about them, because is there a difference? Do you really love, or do you need to be loved? That's the question. Do you really, what's in you? What's broken, right? That's in you, that feel that you need this person's love, this person's acceptance, this person acknowledgement, right? And so when it does not happen, here's where the failure, or the feeling of a failure, kicks in. These are real moments. These are real moments. And so um, this part of revisiting and adjusting is so important. This is important to you, the person. It's important to you to see this in a different light, readjusting, revisit and adjusting, right? Number four, this is important. Reconnect with your support system. Support systems are so important to your recovery process. Who in your life is empathic? Who in your life is compassionate? Who in your life understands without critiquing or breaking you down, or making you feel horrible, or making you feel, causing you, not making you, but causing you to feel like you failed? Who can break you down and help you to see you without beating you down, without you making, without you causing to feel so worthless? No, it's this is a part of the process. Your support system should be able to check you, help you see you, right? And acknowledge the fact that even though again, you know, acknowledge the fact that even though you did it and you are empathic, you are sincerely apologetic, it does not mean that things are going to go as planned, does not mean that the other person accepted or is going to change his or her behavior, right? And many times we're expecting the change to happen overnight, or we're expecting people to give us what we so desire, and they don't have the capacity to do it. So this is a part of you adjusting, right? But look at this. Reconnecting with your support system. Talk to trusted family, friends. If you have a therapist, if you have someone who's a coach or whatever it may be, to help you process and break down what went wrong. Because again, when you're by yourself, you lie to yourself. And when it comes to checking you, sometimes, not sometimes, but many times, you need somebody to help you see it from a different angle or to bring some accountability to you, right? As your support system is key. And now let's flip it, because sometimes your support system can be the problem. I want that to resonate. Who is your support system? What is it? Who is your accountability? Your support system can be the problem, because your support system can be so loving and so compassionate that they don't challenge you to do better, or they won't challenge you where you're wrong. They don't know how. They don't know how, because of your retaliatory ways, because your clapback or your way of explaining why you did. Sometimes you can be defensive and not know it. You can make excuses for you and not know it, right? There was a point in time in my life, in my space, where people or certain individuals in my life will bring stuff back to me, about what happened. And instead of me listening, I gave answers to why I did it. Well, this is why I had to do that. Well, this is why I wanted to do that. This is why I did this. Well, I heard what you said, but you don't know what they did. I heard what you're saying, but you don't know why I did what I did. So let's stop there. Let's pause and talk about that, because I get the explanation. I get, and this happens so commonly with brothers and sisters, happens so commonly with coworkers, this happens so commonly in husbands and wives, boyfriends and girlfriends. This happens because it somewhat brings up a tick for tat. I did not, or it can have that in the atmosphere, and it may not really be that. Um, but however, listen to me, and this is so important. When you feel the need to immediately justify an action, in many cases, it's a deflection. In many cases, it can be deemed as the person receiving your why you did what you did as a reason, as an excuse, as you excusing your actions, as you are excusing your response. Like, oh, so that made it right? Because this is what goes on in the average relationship with brother to brother, husband to wife, boyfriend to girlfriend. It's that, oh, I did this because you did that, or because, and so it does not get anything done. It keeps the relationship in a stalled space, because that person does not acknowledge what they've done. Instead, they're justifying. They won't, let me say, put it like this. All right, let's go back to, let me take that back. They won't acknowledge your thought and your feelings. They won't acknowledge what you're bringing to them about how you're feeling about it, why you're responding this way. They won't acknowledge that. They will not make that a part of. And so that's what brings you to a place of sadness, of anger, of disappointment, or feeling that they're disingenuous. It is tough hearing about you. It's challenging. It is an uncomfortable space. And this is one of the major issues right there when it comes to any level of communication, any level of friendship, any level of platonic relationship, any level of love. It is that part right there is pivotal because the person that you brought your feelings to won't acknowledge their part, but instead they'll give a reason to their rhyme. That is so challenging. I I'm sorrowful for anyone who's in that situation. When your partner can be underdeveloped in that area of receiving any level, or your friend, your brother, any level of critique because it's given back to you in a justified manner. I did this because you did this. Now you may have done it first, and you may have, it may look, worse on your end, but this is one of the biggest challenges in every relationship because we call it clapback. In many cases, it is. So, um, let's talk about the bigger person in this because I'm stuck right here. Let's talk about the bigger person. Being the bigger person can be exhausting. Being the one who's always accepting and feeling like a doormat or feeling used can be legitimately exhausting. Now, I want you to do this and try this methodology. Be the bigger person for a season and remind them when it comes time to acknowledge your feelings. Listen, the last time I didn't say nothing. I gave you what I wanted you to give me. I had to sow you slash show you, right? I had to sow. I'm taking the H out of show. I had to sow into you what I wanted. I had to sow into you what I expect you to give back to me. This may or may not work, but in many cases, it's really a healthy approach. I gave you complete understanding. I give that to you every time you come to me with something about me. Now I would like that to be given to me without you justifying or telling me why you responded that way when my feelings are not really acknowledged by you because you are redirecting, reframing, it almost as an attempt to shift any level of blame, any level of responsibility off of yourself. It is really an exhausting part. It really hurts, and I empathize with any man or any woman who's in that place with a brother or a sister or spouse that cannot acknowledge their part, cannot or will not acknowledge your feelings, your thoughts, how you're feeling. But it's a tough. It's really a setback because it's exhausting. Now, how do you still deal with and move on? Because that's one major aspect of recovery. For you, this is not so much recovery for the relationship of itself. This is speaking to recovery for you, right? So you reconnect with your support system. You're looking at that. Now you're re-engaging with coping skills. What does coping skills look like? Return to self-care. Return to being mindful of yourself. Returning to exercise. It may be hobbies. Going back to those things that brings you peace readjusting and configuring where you're at, right? Even though that did not take place, right? And that may not you may not that for a while. Unfortunately, in many of these relationships that I counsel, that I see, it's lopsided. It's a lopsided, selfish part on either both partners or one in the relationship that just can't see. Both brothers, both siblings, or one in the sibling that just can't see they're wrong. They've been sitting in their emotions and feelings for a long time. They've never had to acknowledge when they're wrong. They've never been challenged this way. So guess what? Flight is in motion. There's a flight going on. There's a flight, right? There's a flight gone. I mean, gone, right? And so these are real issues, real things that go on in our relationships. These are real things that go on, excuse me, in our family systems. These are real things that go on in our situationships. These are real things that and unfortunately, many times we don't know how to deal with it. Right? We don't know how to deal with these aspects of what really goes on in our responses, and we don't know how to, right? And these are real issues, right? And so I want to continue to stay there because it's important for us to know. I know I added two more to the trauma responses. I dealt with two more, and the two additional is fine and forget. These are not just five trauma responses: the fight, the flight, the freeze, the fawn, the flop, but also fine and to forget. Fine meaning that to suppress emotions, pretending to be okay, right? To pretend I'm okay. No, I'm gonna be all right when you're not okay, and you're not all right in that moment. And so we can find that can be a response when, like, we put on the face very quickly, and we'll hold that for a day, a whole week, a whole month when you're not fine. So fine, FINE, is a trauma response, or in the seventh response can be forget, right? Which means to disassociate, or a memory or loss relating to the trauma, right? To disassociate, we just totally disassociate. We try to forget what really went on. And some spiritual clinical is defined as smothering out, blackout, or suppressing um, the memory or the pain. Right? Those are real things that go on. Right? So the trauma responses are still real: fight, flight, fight. I'm sorry, fight, flight, fawn, freeze, flop. Now find and forget. So those are real trauma responses. Right. So we reconnect with our support system. Number five, we re-engage with our coping, what got us here, right? Or what we need to do. It's not so much you suppressing the reality of what happened or what did not happen. It's not so much you being in denial. It's you helping you to realize you can't change them. You got bigger fish to fry for you. You got bigger things to acknowledge and continue to heal from in you, right? And it's not a deflection on your behalf, but there are other things that need to get done. There are other things in your life that need to get accomplished. And sometimes we can get stuck in trying to fix somebody, trying to prove to somebody how much we care, how much we are there. And the person, all they have on them is a glutton or a spirit of greed. They'll keep taking what you give them, right? So that has to stop, right? That has to stop. And on your behalf, it has to be explained to them where you're at. Don't ghost them. Tell them they're not going to like it, but acknowledge to them in a soft, gentle, empathic way that I need this time. I can't do this for you no more. This is hurting me. You have to find another way. You have to find another way. Because if I keep doing this, going down this rabbit hole with me, I need to recover because I lost me and I'm doing my level best to recover me, right? So re-engaging with your coping skills, how you recope, right? Without it being anger, without it being facetious, without it being spiteful and malicious. Those are big words I just used. And you can be soft with your recovery, soft with your response. And it's coming from a you place, not a mean place, not a nasty place, coming from a you place. So number six is you having enough self-care to identify triggers. Sometimes we have to re-explore our triggers, because triggers can cause major setbacks. Yes, they can, right? Gain new insight on your triggers, gaining new insight like, what did that just happen? Am I doing improve with my triggers? Giving your time and your space and love enough to yourself to look at this not just short or midterm recovery, but there is a legitimate thing as long-term recovery. And many times we want to get back in the fight, get back with getting things reciprocated back to us with short-term recovery. Have you given yourself long-term recovery? Have you have you identified that I got to get myself back to that prescription, back to that? Take this twice a day for the next 8 days. We feel better the third and fourth day. So the fifth day, sixth day, seventh day, and eighth day is now we don't need it. Somebody who's listening to me that has extra medication in your closet, wherever you keep your medication, because you did not finish the script. There's some man or some woman that that received something that had some assembly required or all assembly required, did not fully follow the instructions. Either you didn't couldn't understand it, or you just felt that I got this. And then now it's up, it's erected, it's put together, erected, and it's put together, and you have five extra parts and pieces, five extra screws or some type of screw. And like this goes somewhere. Oh, the manufacturer just packed extra. No, those screws went to someone. That part goes to something in many cases. But because we had went on by eye or rushed it or whatever it might be, whatever it was. And so we won't take the time to let me take this down. Because once it's up 75%, 90%, we're like, oh God. And so following and completing um, instructions helps you to identify triggers, right? Identify and giving yourself the long term care, the long term recovery, not rushing the recovery process. That way, when you can identify a trigger, you can identify what you normally responds. Because there is going to be a response. There is, typically, there is. And so when you are engaging in you and not them, when you're making this about you and not them, if a trigger go off, you're like, okay, something just went off. Okay, I know why. I can identify what tripped that off. I can identify what part of the room, where, right? This is why we have ring cameras and on our phone. We can log on our phone and see who's coming to our house, who's at our doorstep. who's in the backyard. We can identify it. Right? Some of our cars can speak. And on my car, I can actually speak to somebody from, if I'm in California and I see and I turn on all my cameras in my car, right? I can actually tell somebody, why are you near my car? Right? I can actually speak to them. I can turn my car on. I can cause the horn to go off. I'm in a whole other part of the country. That's how powerful technology is now. But I said that and used that as a metaphor so that you can identify your triggers. What's going on in you? What this is about you, not them. This is about you. Identify, why did I just feel this way? And then you can make a choice as to how you're going to respond or how you're not going to respond. Might be the big one. All right. So set realistic goals, right? Resetting realistic goals for you, not them, not her, not him. Resetting realistic goals for you. What does that look like? Break down your goals into smaller, manageable steps and celebrate small victories. Celebrate your small victories. Celebrate your small accomplishments. I'm glad I made it through that day without going all the way there. I'm glad I listened to what he or she had to say and it triggered me, but I maintain me. Set realistic goals. Make smaller, manageable steps. That's what you're going to take. Celebrate small victories and rebuilding your confidence. That's it. And eight, focus on what you can control. You're not controlling nobody else. You are focusing on what you can concentrate on positive actions and your attitude. That's it. That has to be monitored. Thank you, Lamisha. You're so kind. You can't focus on what you can't change. You have to focus on you, your attitude, your responses. It's important that this and these sessions are about you. So we gave you eight particular methodologies or strategies of recovering from failure and moving forward, recover from any level of failure and moving forward. I hope that this session has blessed you, helped you to manage you, to deal with you. And I pray that you have an amazing day. Those in our Zoom room, just hold on. I pray that you have an amazing day. I will see everyone tonight. Um, tonight we will be in our podcast, the Unpack podcast, right? So I'll see you from 7 to 7:55 on tonight. All right, Church Talk Radio. That's where I'll be. All right. God bless you in our Zoom. I mean, God bless you on our social media. Blessings to you.